Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right out here in the lab. About to give you part two of the lesson we've been just going through, titled How to Overcome the Phase of the Spiritual Path. So let's do what we do. Writism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in story for life. I give life lessons sometimes from the book, but they're all life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment, being your best self. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know that self. That's my mission, to get all right thinkers to do that. So I'm here every day to give you things you need to let you know how to know that self. That's my mission, and I'm on it. Yours is to, the goal is to master oneself with knowledge of self. Let's go. Do you know you? Know that self. Do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have that answer, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do. Let's go. A person who knows not, and knows not that they know not, foolish, disregard them. A person who knows not, and knows that they know not, simple. You teach them. That's what I do to do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes or thinks that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock, here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself, and to my eye, be true. I just got done with reading Maturity to Succeed in the Teachings That You're Learning, aka Right Thinking Philosophy, and how it works. Next one is quick phrase. I read this phrase here earlier, but obviously they want to make this point, so it's here again. Neither let prosperity put out the eyes of circumspection, nor abundance cut off the hands of frugality. They that too much indulge in the superfluities of life shall live to lament and want for the necessities that they squandered away. That's an ancient proverb of Shita Nada. Booyah. Let's go. Now we're going to talk about dispassion is a gradual freedom. And then we're going to go over to divine grace. Then I'm going to hit you with devotion to God. And all of these are uh, ancient proverbs from Shita Netta. These are lessons, quick, short paragraphs. So let's go. Dispassion is the gradual freedom achieved when the mind what becomes released from the mood swings caused by what? Egoistic desires and hatred due to what? Ignorance about the world, and passion desires to what? Fulfill ego desires through the world of time and space. You got to learn to let all what you think is, let that go. Why? It's going to be a hindrance. That's why it's not good to fall in love with or try to fulfill your desires of worldly things. That's all. Moving on. Lesson. These desires, what's this? Are a product of what? A deluded mind that does not realize the futility of what? Trying to fulfill desires through what? A fleeting world of human experiences. We live in a spirit, we're spiritual beings living in a human world, time and space. Don't get caught up in this. Raise your conscious level and understand who you are as a spiritual being. Know thyself. And this search causes what? The mind to be clouded with what? Ignorance. If you're not obtaining knowledge, you're living through ignorance. Not knowing, not stupid or dumb. No. And some people misunderstand the definition of ignorance. Ignorant means not to know. I'm ignorant to a whole bunch of stuff. How about that? So I'm not stupid or dumb. I just don't know a whole bunch of stuff. Simple. Moving on. If you caught up in ignorance, and watch this, there can be no peace. Why? Due to the constant mental swings themselves and the what? Again, that word, deluded concepts, meaning wrong, wrong, that the mind subscribes to. If you're following a lie and you believe it because that's what you believe and it's a lie, you're going nowhere. Just want to let you know that. So the movement of the mind clouds the intellect, and it does what? Prevent. I've been waiting for this. Right thinking. If you ain't thinking right, because you got wrong information, you gonna have problems, and it's gonna prevent you from right thinking. The ignorant, watch this, concepts act as what? Impenetrable canvases, not as it is, but as a deluded notion again of reality based on what? The internal egoistic notions and desires. If you're functioning on the me, I premise, that's all ego. You ain't got to run around raising the roof by God, 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 but you need to be God conscious, and you can do that in a respectful manner and still get and earn your blessings by just doing the right thing. In this state of mind, watch this. Objects and worldly pursuits are what? Chased after regard for no regard without to me. Chase after, watch this, without regard for truth or facts. Because what? The desires has blotted out the negative aspects and painted a picture of happiness in the objects of the world. And those are what you're in pursuit of. That big house, fancy car, all that. That's all an illusionary. And for those who get it, if they obtain it through hard work and perseverance, that's what they deserve. But those who sell their soul and snide, lie, connive, and sneak shit, they're not going to enjoy the festivities or the prosperity. None of that. It's going to be taken away. That's just how it is. And watch this. So where we at? Okay. This deluded notion renders, watch this, the mind incapable of assimilating the teachings in a proper way. If you don't understand the philosophy that I'm teaching, you're never going to manifest anything for yourself. So first you need to do is understand it. And watch this. Listen, God sheds light or blessings on they who what? Who shake the clouds of what? Error from their soul, becoming spiritually enlightened and have sight and cite what? The brilliancy of truth. You should be able to recognize, hear, and know the truth. And mingling with themselves with what? With all senses of the divine and intelligence. Don't just blindly believe God because they say that. You need to have your own spirits, put in your own work, and then you don't have to believe. You become a Gnostic. What's that? A knower of God. Somebody who knows God. That's all. It was Christians before y'all was Christians. Y'all was before y'all became believers. Y'all was knowers, Gnostics. Another lesson, but that's not. But the whole point is you need to know God through your own personal experience. That's all. Through love, watch this. Through love, which they win their freedom from what? That part over which, here we go, death rules. If you're ignorant to your higher self, when death comes, you're scared to death. Why? Because you don't know nothing else. You got no kick coming. But if you're spiritually enlightened, you know death is just a phase of life, and you ain't freaking out about it. Simple. That's why. And watch this. Part of death, watch this. It frees you from the part over which death rules and has what? The seed of, listen, the assurance. The seed of assurance, your belief. Is cool. It's put there. But once you produce and manifest, you are assured of future deathlessness, which is implanted in you. This then is how and why good will differ from the bad. We can't tell good people from bad people from just looking at them. We know them from what? The fruits of their labor. We know a good tree by the fruit that it bears. Simple as that. And that's an ancient proverb of Shita Netta. Again, this is their concepts, and I was learning them. I'm just learning them, and I was living them. I lived. I know this. This is what I know. So moving on. Let me see how you got. I like this, my favorite. It's called divine grace. Equals what? God does not. God does not grant nihas. aka spiritual awakening or spiritual enlightenment. This is not within God's powers to give. Hello. As a spark of the divine, every human being is what essentially one with God. I keep telling you that all the time. And as such, watch this, partake in what? Divine power. You have to know thyself to know you have divine power. If you're ignorant of that, you're ignorant of your divine powers. The soul, watch this, is that spark. That's life. Has led itself, watch this, to what? Ignorance when it becomes in a physical body. And so by itself must lead itself to what? Awakening. Practicing what? Devotion to God has the effect of what? Turning the mind towards the divine. And this leads to what? Purity of feeling and right thinking. I love when I see that. Essentially, it is a worship of what? The divine within oneself, your higher self. When the divinity, watch this, within you is worshiped as opposed to the world, it allows that divinity to what? Emerge as the what? Preeminent aspect of your life, and the mind is awakened. Know thyself. To what? Its presence. Your heart and mind became one, and the mind recognized the presence and the true nature of your personality, which is not egoistic notion, but the heretofore unknown is your divine spirit. God is within, aka Haru, the spirit in you become your hero by what? Conquering your fears, coming over all the things you need to do to know thyself. It's a life cycle, and everybody talks about it, so it's there for everybody. It's a choice. Moving on. When David slew Goliath, everybody else is freaking out except him. He knew what he was doing. He had a plan. In life, you need to be David all the time. And anything that opposes you should be Goliath. You're supposed to handle it every time. You knock the hell out of it every time. Simple. Moving on. Devotional exercises bestows what? Perpetuous conditions to what? Practice and advance in spiritual attainment. If you're not in prayer, if you're not sincere in your meditation, in your routine that you live in, you won't get no response from God. I told you how to get his attention, and doing the right thing by being devotion, showing devotion to him, being obedient to him. God does not grant enlightenment, but only opens the door. Perpetuous conditions includes what? Peace of mind in encounters with spiritual preceptors, a teacher. Reduction of what? Pressure of your egoistic tendencies. Control the ego. That act as obstacles. The ego acts as an obstacle to what? Spiritual attainment. The ego wants to be in control. It don't want you to get enlightened. Why? It'll lose its power. Okay? So the reduction of pressure, egoistic tendencies, okay, you go. To spiritual attainment. Moving on. When divine grace dawns, you, the aspirant, you have gained what? Spiritual strength, and by increasing your desire to what? Study and practice the teachings, right thing, the philosophy, as well as what? Increasing pleasures and fulfillment through what? Through the practice of increasing dispassion about worldly objects and worldly desires. Divine grace is perpetuated through what? Devotion to the divine and right action and righteousness daily, aka living my yacht, doing the right thing. This is what I learned. When I read this years ago, I incorporate that in my life, and it changed. That's why I know how this works. Moving on, I got a few more minutes. And it tells you right here, again, another ancient proverb of Shita Netta. Seeketh thou God, thou seekest for what? The beautiful. One is the path that leadeth unto it. Devotion joined with what? Knowledge. That means your faith and belief in God should be joined with knowledge, not just blindly. Oh God, everything is God. Sorry. Wrapping it up. Last one. This is Devotion to God. All you Christians, please pay attention. Devotion to God allows the depth of what? The teachings to be revealed. You don't just believe in God. No. There's some teaching that you can learn. And even in Christian, y'all have Bible study. I understand. Study. You need to study to what? Show yourself approved. So you have to have knowledge of obtaining something. Approaching, watch this. Approaching the teachings intellectually. Again, I found God through intellect and work, not through prayer and the Bible. Nope. Didn't have no Bible. Don't carry the Bible. Don't read the Bible. Don't subscribe to the Bible. Why? I got my knowledge through God, to God, other places. The Bible's fine. You want to be a Christian? I'm not a Christian, so I don't subscribe to the Bible. No problem. Now, your intellectual studies will allow the teachings to be what? Thought about, but this thinking process can become circular if the depth of the teaching is what? Not approached. I mean, if you ain't applying it, it's just going around and around. It just can't hear. It's just talk. It's just rhetoric. It's just words. It ain't really doing nothing. Why? You ain't applying it, so it don't mean nothing. Like listening to me and not doing it. What's the purpose? Like going to the gym and not working out. I'm in the gym today for an hour. What you do? Nothing. What you go to the gym for? Devotion, divine love towards God. Don't mean you just God crazy. Most of y'all already got get like that, but you can be blessed and conduct yourself in an integrity manner, with integrity and respect. Not wild out because you just God crazy. Okay? Okay, divine love toward God allows what? The depth of the teachings to be approached in a correct manner. Now, in essence, the teachings must be what? Felt as well as what? No. I mean, you have to do it. You have to do it. Intellectual knowledge is good, and it must be augmented by what? Feelings of the teaching. You have to incorporate it in your daily life. You have to make it part of you. I'm told I'm obsessed. Okay, if that obsession with God, I ain't got a problem with that. I was obsessed with a whole bunch of other stuff. So being obsessed with God, I'll take that at this point in my life. The feeling, watch this. What's the feeling aspect of the soul? When you feel touched, you get goosebumps. You get that feeling. That's spiritual awakening. That's when God communicates through you in the physical concepts to get his point across. And when you tapped into this, it does not allow, watch this, the torment the intellect with what? Doubts until the right path is pursued. This is the deeper conscious and it's spelled my way from the heart. CONCIENC. The conscience of what? A person whose source is their own soul, knowing who they are. This cannot occur, watch this, of the divine feeling if the divine feeling is deluded, what? Due to delusions, egoistic concepts, and worldly desires. If you still pine for stuff, you're not devoting your time to God, and you still want to do you. A lot of people use God, aka stealing in the name of the Lord. Y'all profess to be good, but the whole time you scheming and doing you. That's always being dealt with in your own time. So moving on. That's right. I'm about done. This cannot. Okay. Devotional exercise is what? Rituals which allow the intellectual teachings to what? Be experienced. That's the purpose of the ritual. To experience the concept, to feel it, as well as thinking and reading and studying about it. You need to go through the ritual. As a Masonic order, you couldn't become a Mason without going through the first 2 degrees and become a Master Mason in the 3rd degree. So it's a process to everything. And little quick when I'm wrapping it up with this. Last phrase. Oh, behold with thine eyes God's plans. Devote thyself to adore God's name, whatever you call it. It is God who what? Giveth souls to how many? Millions of forms. And what do God do? He magnifieth whosoever magnify him. That's an ancient Egyptian proverb of Shaitan concept. So if you do right by him, He'll do right by you. It's been that way for a long time. It didn't just start with Christianity. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'm out.